ever get that feeling? Like your hair just won't cooperate. Maybe it's shedding like crazy, or it just feels thinner no matter what you do.
Oh, yeah.
I bet a lot of us have tried those fancy salon treatments,
Yeah.
the ones that promise the world, but then the same problem just keeps coming back. It's frustrating.
It really is. And it's so common. We tend to think of hair as this separate thing. It's all about how it looks,
Right,
right?
right.
But what if we're missing something? Like, what if there's a whole other way to approach hair health? What if we could get to the root of what's going on, not just cover it up?
That's exactly what we're diving into today. We're looking at this really interesting piece called What is a Natural Hair Therapist?
Oh, interesting.
And if you've ever felt like, your hair issues are more than just needing a trim, then this deep dive is for you. Seriously.
Absolutely. We're going beyond the usual styling tips.
Mhm.
We're talking about the why. Why does your hair behave the way it does? Like, what's really going on?
So the big question this article asks is, what exactly is a natural hair therapist and how are they different from your regular hairdresser?
Good question.
It's about looking deeper, not just dealing with what you see on the surface.
Right, because let's face it, those typical salon treatments, they often just focus on the surface.
Right.
They might make your hair look good for a bit, but they don't always address the underlying problems, like why is your hair thinning in the first place?
Right, right. So it's like putting a Band-Aid on a cut without figuring out why you keep getting cut. So what's the natural hair therapist doing differently?
Well, think of it this way. The natural hair therapist wants to know why you keep getting that cut. The article talks about this woman, Janine van Throo, who's kind of a pioneer in this field.
Okay.
She saw this gap in traditional hair care and developed a whole system called NIS²H.
NIS²H. I like that. What does that stand for?
It breaks down into 6 key areas: nutrition, ingredients, scalp care, stress management, sleep management, and hair maintenance.
So it's not just about what products you use.
No, not at all. It's really looking at the whole picture. Your overall well-being is connected to your hair health.
Okay, so if you go see a natural hair therapist, what can you expect? I'm guessing it's not like your typical salon appointment.
You're right about that. The first consultation is really in-depth. They'll ask about your diet, your sleep, how stressed you are, what medications you take, your exercise routine.
Wow, that's a lot more than just what style are you going for today?
Right, it's a whole different approach. They even want to know about hormonal changes or possible nutrient deficiencies.
They're really trying to get to the bottom of things.
Exactly. They want to see if there are any internal imbalances
Hmm.
that might be showing up as hair problems. They might ask, like, how many hours of sleep are you actually getting? Or tell me about your protein and iron intake.
Okay, that's fascinating. But it's not just about what's going on inside the body, right? The article also talked about scalp analysis.
Yes, the scalp is super important. Janine van Throo calls it the womb of the hair, which is such a great way to think about it. Like healthy soil is essential for plants to grow. Well, a healthy scalp is essential for healthy hair.
Makes sense.
So a natural hair therapist will really look at your scalp. They'll check for inflammation, buildup from products, poor circulation, even imbalances in the scalp's microbiome.
Are these things you might not even notice yourself?
Totally. What might look normal to you could actually be a sign of trouble. The therapist has the training to see these things. They might use their hands, smell, or even a special microscope for the scalp.
That's pretty high tech.
Yeah.
Okay, so they've looked at your lifestyle and your scalp.
Yeah.
What happens next? Do they try to sell you a bunch of products?
Nope, not at all.
Yep.
The next step is to create a personalized plan just for you. No generic solutions here.
Okay.
This plan might involve changing your hair products, like finding ones that are good for your specific hair and scalp and getting rid of anything that might be harmful. They might also recommend scalp treatments, like specific ways to cleanse, massage, or use oils or herbs.
So it's very customized.
Very much so. And it goes beyond just what you put on your scalp. They might teach you how to detangle gently, the best ways to wash and dry your hair, and even how to style it in a way that prevents breakage.
Wow.
They'll probably also talk to you about nutrition and ways to manage stress and sleep better. All of these things affect your hair.
It really is all connected, isn't it? The article mentioned lifestyle counseling too.
Right, because your hair can be a reflection of your overall health.
Yeah.
Like chronic stress can throw off your hormones, and that can really mess with your hair growth cycle.
Oh, yeah.
And if you don't get enough sleep, your body can't repair itself properly, including your hair follicles. And if you're not eating right, your hair isn't getting the nutrients it needs.
It's like a chain reaction.
Exactly. So the therapist isn't diagnosing medical conditions, but they can help you see those connections and maybe guide you to other professionals if needed.
That's really helpful. I like how the article emphasizes education over dependency.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's not about becoming reliant on the therapist. It's about giving you the knowledge and tools to take care of your own hair.
To be your own advocate.
Exactly. They might do workshops, coaching sessions, or even use apps to teach you about ingredients and how to read product labels.
Okay, so to really understand the difference, the article had this great table comparing a natural hair therapist to a regular hairdresser.
Oh, yeah, that was helpful.
Can we go over some of those key points?
Sure. So the main difference is that a natural hair therapist focuses on the root cause of hair problems, while a regular hairdresser focuses on managing the symptoms.
So one is digging deeper and the other is more about the surface.
That's a good way to put it. And their approaches are different too. The therapist is more therapeutic and educational, while the hairdresser is more aesthetic and technical.
Right, like they have different philosophies about hair.
Definitely. The natural hair therapist sees hair as part of a whole system. It's influenced by both internal and external things.
I see.
While a hairdresser might see it more as an external feature to be styled and colored.
And that's reflected in the tools they use too.
Totally. A natural hair therapist might use questionnaires, ingredient guides, and nutritional advice.
While a hairdresser uses scissors, dyes, and styling products.
Exactly. And their goals are different too. The therapist wants to achieve long-term hair health and empower the client.
Whereas a hairdresser might be more focused on how your hair looks right then and there.
Yeah, it's more immediate.
Mm.
And their training is different too. The therapist needs to understand anatomy, lifestyle coaching, and wellness.
And a hairdresser is trained in cutting, coloring, and styling techniques.
Right. Even the questions they ask are different. A hairdresser might ask, "What style are you hoping for today?"
But a natural hair therapist might ask, how's your sleep? Do you drink enough water? What are you eating to support hair health?
Right. It's a whole different perspective. And the article pointed out that some people might blend both skills.
That makes sense.
But the key thing about the natural hair therapist is that they're focused on prevention, education, and getting to the root of the problem.
That's really interesting. So we've talked about NIS²Hs, but let's break down each part, starting with nutrition.
Sure. The article stresses that you can't have healthy hair if your body isn't getting the right nutrients. Did you know hair is considered a non-essential tissue?
Really?
Yeah. So if your body is low on resources, it'll prioritize your vital organs over hair growth.
Oh, wow.
So your hair can actually be an early warning sign for nutritional deficiencies. A natural hair therapist will help you figure out what to eat to support hair health. Things like protein, iron, zinc, biotin, and of course, water.
Right, because you need the building blocks.
Exactly. Like, think of your hair follicles as little factories.
Yeah.
They need the right raw materials to produce healthy hair.
Okay, that makes sense. What about ingredients? I feel like those product labels can be so overwhelming.
Oh, I know. NIS really encourages you to pay attention to what you're putting on your hair and scalp. A therapist can help you decode those labels.
That would be helpful.
They can show you which ingredients are beneficial and which ones to avoid. The article specifically mentioned things like silicones, sulfates, drying alcohols, and parabens.
Okay.
Like, silicones might make your hair look shiny at first, but they can build up and prevent moisture from getting in.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's tricky.
What about scalp care? It's more than just shampooing, right?
Definitely. It's about treating your scalp like the foundation for healthy hair. NIH is all about a balanced approach.
Okay.
Cleansing regularly to get rid of buildup, but not overdoing it. Exfoliating gently to remove dead skin cells. Massaging to stimulate blood flow. And keeping it hydrated. It's not just about slathering on oils.
Right, it's about a whole routine.
Exactly.
Stress management is a big one for me. I feel like I'm always stressed.
I hear you. And stress really affects your hair. The article explains how cortisol, the stress hormone, can disrupt the hair growth cycle. Yeah, when your body's in fight or flight mode, it doesn't prioritize hair growth. A therapist might suggest things like journaling, spending time in nature, breath work, or hobbies to help manage stress.
Those are good ideas.
And then there's sleep management. So important, but so many people struggle with that.
I know. I definitely don't get enough sleep.
Well, your body does a lot of repair work while you're sleeping, and that includes your hair follicles. So a natural hair therapist will talk to you about good sleep hygiene.
I could definitely use some help with that.
Me too.
Yeah.
And finally, we have hair maintenance.
Okay.
This is all about your daily habits, like how to detangle gently, the best way to wash and dry your hair, and how to style it in a way that prevents breakage.
So it's about being mindful of how you treat your hair every day.
Exactly. It's about making choices that support its health.
This whole approach is so fascinating, and the article talked about Janine van Throo, the woman behind it all. She sounds amazing.
She really is. She has this background in natural hair care and wellness. And she saw that traditional hair care was missing something. It was too focused on the surface and not enough on the individual.
Right, it was missing the whole picture.
Exactly. And so she created NIS³ based on her own experiences and working with clients. She's on a mission to change the way we think about hair care.
I love that.
And she has this great quote: "Hair is not just hair. It's history, it's health, it's heritage. And it deserves more than a bottle of product. It deserves attention, care, and intention."
That's beautiful. So for someone who's really struggling with their hair, who's tried everything and is feeling lost, what's the main takeaway here?
I think the biggest takeaway is that a natural hair therapist offers a completely different way of looking at hair care. It's about understanding the connection between your overall well-being and your hair health.
It's about going deeper than just treating the symptom.
Exactly. It's about addressing the root cause.
And for someone who's really looking for answers, who wants to understand the why behind their hair issues, this approach could be really helpful.
It could be life-changing for some people. It encourages you to think about all the different factors that might be affecting your hair. It might be worth looking for a natural hair therapist in your area or learning more about the NIS³H framework.
It really makes you think about hair care in a whole new way. It's not just about styling, it's about your overall health. It's about listening to what your body is telling you.
That's such a great way to put it. Maybe our hair is trying to tell us a story.
And maybe it's time we start listening.
I think so.